how do you divide decimals by decimals? In each of these problems, the dividend and the divisor is a decimal. Well, we want to concentrate on making the divisor a whole number. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the divisor in this first one, and we want that to become a whole number. So we move that decimal one place to the right. When we move that decimal one place to the right, we have to go to the dividend and move that decimal one place to the right. Then we're going to divide like normal, and that new decimal position is going to go up into our quotient. So sometimes we may have to move it 2 times. So we're going to move this one in this divisor 2 places. Since we moved that one 2, we have to move this one 2, and then it moves up into our quotient. Okay, let's continue in showing these examples. So we're going to move 2 places, up into our quotient. Here we're going to move 2 places, then up into your quotient. In the next example, we're going to have to move it 3 places to make it a whole number. Now it's like dividing by 3. So if we move it 3 places in the divisor, we must move it 3 places in the dividend and then up into our quotient. Okay, in this next one, 3 places, and then up into our quotient. Okay, in this one, we're going to move 4, and then up into our quotient. So our ultimate goal is to make our divisor a whole number, because it is much easier to divide by a whole number than a decimal. Okay, so let's look at this example. We have 1 and 15 hundredths divided by 3 hundredths. Remember, our whole goal is to change this to a whole number. I move this one 2, so I move this one 2, then straight up into my quotient. Now I'm dividing by 3. Okay, 3 doesn't go into 1, but 3 goes into 11. 3 times 3 times 3 is 9. 11 take away 9 is 2. My next step is that I'm bringing down. Okay, 3 goes into 25. Okay, 25 take away 24 is 1. Okay, now, since we're dividing with decimals, we no longer have remainders. So I can't just leave that and say remainder of 1. Instead, I must add a 0 into my dividend and then bring it down. So 3 now goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, you get 1. Again, can't have a remainder. Add another 0, bring it down. It goes in there 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 take away 9 is 1. You should notice, hey, I'm never going to get anything different. So that is telling me that this 3 right here is going to be repeating. Okay, so this is a repeating decimal. And so to write my quotient, I would write it's 38 and 3/10, and that is repeating. You put the repeater bar over the digit or digits that's repeating. Okay, in this example, we're going to take 14 and 5/10 divided by 0.2 and 2/10. Okay, again, we're going to move our decimal one place, and straight up. All right. If you're like me, you probably don't know those 22s in your head, so I might just come over to the side and list the first couple of multiples of 22 just to kind of get you started. Okay, so that kind of gets me started, and I know 132 is pretty close, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6 times 22 is 132. Subtract, and you get 13. Okay, again, no remainders, so add a 0, bring it down. Okay, 22 goes in 130, it's going to be 5 times. 5 times 22 is 110. Subtract and you get 20. Add a 0, bring it down. Okay, I didn't go up high enough, but I know 22 times 10 gives me 220, so I'm going to try 22 times 9 and see what that gives me. And 22 times 9 gives me 198, so 9, and I have 2, no remainders allowed. Well, 22 doesn't go into 20, so I have to add a 0 into my quotient. Add a 0, bring it down. I'm getting that 9 again. Okay, when I subtract, I get 2. And I'm noticing, holy cow, this thing is repeating again. 22 doesn't go into 20. So I know this time the 9 and 0 are what's repeating. So when I write out my quotient, it's 6 and 590 thousandths. And that 90 is repeating. So instead of having to write that over and over and over again, I just put the repeater bar over the digits that are repeating. Okay, now it's your turn to try some. Remember, whenever you have questions, please come see me.